Good to see everyone hopping in. Let's just wait 5 seconds here for everyone to connect. And today we're going to talk about how to pre-handle but also dissolve the partner objection. So both on B2C and B2B scenarios, a lot of times we found ourselves struggling with, hey, I have a partner, I need to talk to them before I make any decision. Or I need to go to the board, get their approval, or I have a business partner, I need their opinion on this before I make any decisions. Or we make joint decisions in the family about things like this. And that gets in the way of us making the sale, right? But of course, it's not just about us making the sale, it's also about getting to help that person. So we're going to go through the exact framework, language, and script that we can deploy to help people overcome their own objection. So let's start with the mindset. And I have to unpack this before we hop on, because 95% of the time, the partner objection is a smokescreen. Like, it's not a true objection 95% of the time. People like to default to it because it's the easiest way to delegate responsibility of that decision. I'm going to say it again. Making decisions is tough. And that's why the most common objections in the market is, let me think about it. And if there is a partner, sometimes people don't need to have a partner to throw that objection, but let me talk to the partner. So 95% of the time, people do it, people say it because they don't want to make decisions then and there, and they want to delegate responsibility to a third party. That third party could be their spouse in B2C, in B2B, it could be the board, it could be a business partner, it could be their team. The true objections that are hiding behind it are three, and these are the three true objections to the core that a person can have. It's money, it's fear or uncertainty, or it's time/logistics. Something doesn't work in terms of the timing or the time they can put into deploying the solution. So three main objections: money, fear, time. And the shroud in front of it, the smoke screen, is either think about it or let me talk to the partner about this. So don't be afraid to probe and always lean into the objection, at least to unpack sure it's the true objection. Please mute yourselves because I'm a little bit limited here. Now, in the 5% of scenarios, it can be a true logistical partner objection. Someone cannot move forward without the approval of their partner. It can be a logistics thing where they make, I guess they are the breadwinner, they supply the income, they supply the revenue. If it's a B2B, maybe it's not, we're talking to a COO or a CTO, and they have to get the CEO's approval on this. We have to be respectful of that. Like, always remember, people respect their spouses and their partners more than any salesperson. So our intent and the intent that we show, that we bring to the call, always matters. Like, we have to show them with the right language, with the right tonality, with how we handle the conversation and the objection. We have to show them that we're on their side of the table, we're on their team. Now, how do we pre-handle the partner objection? There are two different ways, and the easiest thing is making sure that all decision makers are present. Like, if it's a B2C, bring their spouse to the call. If it's a B2B, make sure that all the key players are present. So how do we do that? We have two questions essentially to navigate this. Let me go through the B2B chain first. So what we want to ask is, so walk me through, what's the typical decision-making process you guys follow when it comes to solving X and Y and Z problems? I want you to notice something. I didn't say what's your process when it comes to buying this thing, or what's the process when it comes to looking at solutions. It's always about solving a pain point. And when I frame it that way, it's much easier for them to say, okay, this is the person that makes decisions when it comes to solving X and Y and Z problem. I also want you to notice, I didn't say who is the right person. I'm not asking them who is the right person for me to be talking to, because it belittles the person that I'm talking to. It shows them that I'm on this call because I want to find the right person who will pay me. That's why I want to stay away from that language. I want to get an understanding of their decision-making process, not who makes the decision. If I ask it the right way, the right person will bubble up to the surface. But the last thing I want to do is trigger resistance from the person that I'm talking to. Because even if they're not the one making the decision, I can turn them into a champion for me. And that's what I want. They're on the call with me. Even if they're not the final decision maker, I want to turn them into a champion for me. So once we ask what's the typical decision-making process you guys follow, I follow it up with, okay, so who else should we involve in this conversation, just so we're all on the same side of the table here? That comes afterwards, right? So when I ask what's the typical decision-making process in B2B, they might say, yeah, I need my marketing manager, I need his eyes on this. Or if I ask a question like, who else would this affect in the company? Oh, the CTO, because he's the primary one who has this challenge and he needs to be aware. Okay, should we involve him in our next meeting just so we can have their perspective on this? I want the entire team to feel included, to share perspectives. It's very hard for them to say no to this because they understand that each person has their perspective on this. It's not about navigating, again, and finding the right person for me so they can pull the trigger. It's about having all the right perspectives on the table. That's the way I want to word it. That's how I minimize resistance. Let's look at the B2C scenario. I want to be very careful with this, right? Because we don't know each person's relationship, each couples, each whatever they have going on relationships. So I want to be very careful how I'm handling it. That's why I always default to, during problem awareness or as I'm exploring their problems, I like to ask something like, okay, and I didn't ask you, do you have a spouse or are we living the single life? That's an easy way of uncovering, okay, do they have other people in the family? Then I want to ask, are they aware of this conversation or are we on a stealth operation here? And now I'm using a little bit of humor because I want to pre-diffuse resistance, because what most people do is, okay, are we aware that we're on the phone and you're looking to buy, just so we can include them? We don't want to frame it that way. That's going to kill any rapport that we have. But what that question does, it's also showing what parts of their problem has the person that we're on the phone to discussed with their partner already. For example, if someone wants to lose weight, have they shared with their partner that they're looking into a fitness program that they're going to lose weight? This question also allows us to unveil any red flags. So maybe it's a person who has bought 3 different programs or 3 different solutions in the past, and the partner is now skeptical. So if they haven't shared with them that they're having another conversation, it's a red flag. Like it can cause us to get ghosted at the end, or we can lose the sale because of that partner resistance. So we have to include them on the next call if we want to get a green light on this. And the language in the B2C that we want to use is, should we include them in our next meeting just so they feel included as well, just so they feel heard as well? That's how we get all the decision makers, for lack of a better term, on the next meeting. And this can be done over DMs, this can be done over emails, or in a triage, a preliminary conversation. It doesn't have to be only on a call. And if you're in scenarios where you're winning the sale over one strategy session, a lot of times you will have to rebook. Like if you sense that there's a third party that's going to have a lot of pull on that decision, pause the meeting, rebook it for the next day or two, so they are able to join. Any questions before I continue? How we can make sure that all decision makers are present? You can unmute yourselves or drop a comment.
Chris, what do you do if you go through this process and essentially, suggest that it might be a good idea to have their partner on the call, and they basically say, "Oh, just let's just go through it and finish, so then I'll go talk to them." Like, how do you handle that when they don't want to kind of book in for another meeting and bring their spouse with them?
Oh yeah, that's not a problem. I guess, is there a particular reason, just in case I can help you, is there a specific reason that you wouldn't want your partner to be on board on the next call?
Okay.
And we can role play if you
Okay.
want.
Yeah. We have very different schedules, so he's like, he travels and he's busy all the time.
Okay, sure. So we can have the meeting without him, but that's where I move into the sense of support. How does your partner feel about you wanting to, lose those 20 pounds? Are they supportive overall in your journey?
Oh yeah, he supports me.
Okay. How has she shown this support so far?
Oh, he said he has my back. He
Okay.
when I buy healthy food, and he'll he helps with my gym membership and that kind of thing.
Okay, nice. So overall, because of course each person in a relationship we have different perspectives, right? So do you feel that there would be any reason why he wouldn't want you to onboard to start this journey of losing weight?
No, I don't think so. I think he'd be supportive of me.
Okay, that's all I need.
Okay.
Now, let me go through the science of support chain, and I'll talk about what might come up when we're going through this process, right? So science of support, it's exactly what I went through with Andrew, but essentially I want to ask them, how does your partner feel about you wanting to fix X and Y and Z problem? Again, I'm not going to talk about programs, solutions, or anything. It's about their problem. Would they be supportive when it comes to B2B, when it comes to tackling on this new initiative, when it comes to introducing this new channel? If it's B2C, how would your partner feel about you wanting to lose weight so you can have more energy? Are they supportive of your journey overall? And also with Andrew, I also probed a little bit because he didn't unravel any of their history, right? How has he been supportive so far? Or he contributes with the gym membership, he does this, he does that. If I sense any sense of hesitancy, I can say, well, do you feel there would be any reason why they wouldn't want you to fix X and Y and Z? Now, what might come up here is, oh yeah, he's all on board as long as we can afford it, right? Can you see that happening both in B2C and B2C, both B2B and B2C? What I do at that stage is I will not talk price, but what I will do is, yeah, and we have different options and I could walk you through them. I would have to make sure that we can help in the first place, and this is actually going to help you lose 20 pounds before we even talk about investments and packages. Are you with me when I'm saying that? So I'm disarming, moving forward. That's when it comes to pre-handling the partner objection. Now, what do we do when we want to diffuse the partner objection? Like it comes up, we go through a presentation, and a lot of times everything will go right. The partner is supportive. They will tell us that they have no problem with us getting a trainer or introducing a new solution, but it comes up at the end. This all sounds great. I just want to pass this by my partner. What many people, I would say most people forget to do is they don't confirm value for the person on the call. They rush to ask, okay, how does your partner feel about you wanting to lose weight? Big no-no. The reason why I want to do it is why do I care to find out how the partner feels if I'm not sure if the person I'm talking to is sold yet? This is my only way of checking for the smoke screen, because right now what they've done is they've abdicated responsibility to that third party. And if I start attacking the third party, I forget about the main player I'm looking at the call. So what's the language I want to use? That's not a problem. Or, yeah, that's fine. May I ask? I'm asking for permission. I'm diffusing and I'm asking for permission. If your partner was with us here today, giving you the green light, would you move forward? I'm going to say this again. The language here is important. So if your partner was here with us today, giving you the green light, would you move forward? I'm not asking if they feel this is the answer, because anyone can say yes here at this stage. It's about moving forward. It's about commitment. So would they commit if the partner was here giving us the green light? Once I get a clear yes, and chances are, if I've done my proper job here, my job right, they will say yes. Then I want to ask, why do you feel it would help you though? Or why would you commit to something like this? Now, as we've talked multiple times before, they will start selling themselves on our solution. Then and only then, after this loop, I'm going to ask, okay, how does your spouse feel about you wanting to provide for the family or get in a better shape so you can have more energy, show up more powerfully for the family? If it's a B2B, how does your partner feel about you wanting to increase your lead flow so you can get more business? The obvious answer here is, yes, they're very supportive, X and Y and Z. I just want to check with them. And that's fine. I'm going to go through that question, because what might come up is, oh yeah, he's very supportive. I just want to check about the money. That's not a partner objection. I want everyone to be clear on this. Like when someone talks about, yes, I just want to check with my partner about the money, if this is something that we can afford, it's not a partner objection. It's a money objection. And it's an objection that that person in front of you has. It's not a partner objection that does this. I have to handle it like I remove the partner flow in front of me. I remove it, I eliminate it, and I take them through the money objection flow, which is we have to explore if it's a logistical objection or a fear objection, but I'm done with the partner at that stage. Now, moving forward, let's say the scenario goes on and they say, yeah, my partner is supportive. I just want their opinion on this. I'm going to ask them, well, what happens if you go to them and they don't want you to make changes so you can get to the outcome that you want? What should I do then? Then there are different scenarios which I've mapped out. Scenario number one is people say, yeah, I'll just do it anyway because I feel this will help me, and X and Y and Z. What did they just say? They said that they will do it anyway, even if the partner says no. What I don't want to do in that scenario is just, I know I have on the diagram ask for the sale, but I'm going to expand on that. What I don't want to do is just jump on their neck and say, well, then let's do it. If you're going to do it anyway, what's holding you back? I don't want to do that because I show them that I never cared for their partner in the first place. The language that I want to use is, okay, I completely understand. I know how bad you want this, or it seems like this will really benefit you. So it makes sense that you would do it anyway. May I make a suggestion? Sure. Why don't we do this? What we can do is kick off the program. We take the first payment or we enroll you into the program. And on your first onboarding call, let's book it in along with your partner so they feel included in the process and they can actually see your vision and the actual plan that we're going to implement. So they're not in the dark. Can you see how I'm including their partner in the process? I'm showing them that I care for their family or for their company, if it's a founder and co-founder. Everyone with me when I say that? Another version you can use here is, or if they're a little, maybe they have resistance here. I'll just do it anyway, but I still need to talk to them. Here's the language that you can do, that you can use. Yeah, that's not a problem. Chris, may I make a suggestion? Sure. Because the last thing I want to happen is, you go to your partner with a big fat bill and you try to convince them. What we could do is we kick off the onboarding process. We include them in your onboarding call. So instead of you going to them with the big fat bill and the weight of the decision, we've already committed to the process. And instead of the big fat bill, they see that you're actually committed to getting to where you want to go, but you're also involving them in the process. Now, what we've done is we solidify the commitment, but we're also showing them that they are both part of the same process. We're not ignoring the one partner. Let's look at a different scenario. What if they say, I'm not going to move forward then? Like I asked them, what happens if you go to them and they don't want you to make the right changes so you can improve? And the person comes right back with, well, we won't move forward. What I want to do then is, I totally understand, like the last thing we want is to create friction in the company or in the family. What are some possible hesitations they might have when it comes to you fixing X and Y and Z? Or what are some possible hesitations they might have when it comes to you becoming more fit or becoming the best version of yourself? The hesitation that will bubble up is the objection that that person has, the person in front of you. Can you see what I mean? They've used the partner as an excuse, and that's fine. We're not here to blame people. It's just human psychology. But with that question, the objection that they're mentioning, it's going to be their partner objection. It's actually their objection. We just allowed them to voice it in a different way. And now that the real objection has come up, now I'm going to handle it in an appropriate way. Questions so far? Feel free to unmute yourselves.
Hey, Chris. Just a question about the diagram. Is it possible to get access to this?
Yes, absolutely. I'll link it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Let me just drop it.
Chris, did you go over the money objection a couple weeks ago or something? I forgot.
If I didn't, I will in the next training.
Yeah. So, the money is the big one, I guess.
Yeah. We'll talk about money. We can talk about money at the end of the full flow as well.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Cool. Now, what if I ask them, what happens if you go to them, they don't want you to make changes, and they come back with, oh, well, they would never say that. I just want to discuss with them. I want to be careful here. So I want to say the last thing we want is to create friction. What would be your time frame in you discussing with them to see if this is something they want you to do? Now, I'm not letting them go yet. This is just the language I'm using to diffuse and disarm. So here, if the time frame that they give me is anything other than tonight, tomorrow, big red flag. There's a shark in the water, because no one is, let's talk about B2C scenarios. No one needs more than 1-2 freaking days to talk to their partner. Like no one. If they're on a I don't know, a holiday or something, again, it's a phone call away. Anything other than anything other than tonight, tomorrow, for example, if they say we can reconnect in a week or something, I need to address it. And the language I can use is, okay, that's no problem. When it comes to me, wanting to talk to my spouse for a decision, we typically do so within a day or two. So I guess you wanting to postpone it for a week, what's behind that? I want to use that tonality. I want to pause to allow the voices in their head to unpack a little bit. Let the flight or flight mode to decrease in their minds. So they open up and give me the real reason, which typically it's going to be money or fear. Next step, I'm going to book in an appointment with both of them. But before letting them go, you have to realize that the person on the call now turns into the salesperson. If I let them go and we book an appointment for tomorrow, what might happen is, again, they leave the call, they show to their partner the $5,000 price tag, the $10,000, the $20,000, the $2,000 price tag, and they cancel the call and they say thank you. How am I going to prevent that? Is I want to empower them. I want to coach them through how they can sell their partner on this. So how I'm going to be able to do that is I can use this language. Chris, before we go here, may I offer some perspective? Yeah, sure you can. Cool. Because I've had a lot of these conversations, and the last thing that we want is to go to your wife, Sally, and show her, the deliverables of the program and the big fat price tag, and put all that weight of that decision on her shoulders. Would you allow me to give you some ideas on what you can share with her? Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, it might be worth communicating to her how you've been struggling with, for example, you've been struggling with weight loss for 3 months now, you're 20 pounds over your ideal weight, and you have low energy. And if you don't make a change, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. And it's making you feel a little bit stressed, I believe you mentioned. So I coached her essentially through the process of repeating her pain points to her husband, for example, and repeating the cost of inaction to her husband. So now she's properly emotionally equipped to bring along her emotion and how she feels along with that price tag. If I see signs of hesitancy throughout this process, I can do a commitment check. And I do so through a refundable deposit. The language I want to use there is, we can totally book an appointment, Chris. That's not a problem. All we don't ask for a decision. We ask for commitment. And it's not commitment to the program. It's commitment to you becoming the person you can be. Or it's commitment to you deploying a system that can actually grow the business. So what we ask for clients who are committed to the process is a refundable deposit of $500. So they can show their partners that they're committed to the process, but it shows us as well that they're committed to continuing the conversation. Are you comfortable with putting down a refundable deposit. And if you decide with your partner it's not the best decision for you, we give you your money back, and no harm, no foul. But are you comfortable enough to commit to your transformation? Questions? The last thing I want to mention is across all fields here, this goes for the entire framework, there is a feminine and the masculine energy aspects to this. And it's not about female or male, it's about the energy that we bring. There are a lot of men who have a lot of feminine energy, and that's perfectly fine. There are a lot of women that have a lot of masculine energy, and that's perfectly fine too. But depending on what I detect during the call, if I sense a lot of feminine energy, I want to be a little bit more laid back and lean towards the commitment check and a next call decision and not pushing them. If I detect masculine energy, I want to lean towards a now decision. And I can use 3 frames in the beginning of the call as a quick example. I can use a pre-frame as in, and hats off for as the primary, caretaker of the family, or as the primary breadwinner of the family, you want to step up and provide for the family in that way. I really respect you for doing that. Have you heard of the phrase, heavy is the head that wears the crown? Yes, no, it doesn't matter. Well, heavy is the head that wears the crown. We use that phrase. It's not because the weight of the actual crown, like the gold, the jewels, it's because the weight of the responsibility that comes with that crown. So, and this is going to happen, the second part that I'm just about to go through is going to happen at the end of the call, like when I'm objection handling, if I need to. So we mentioned in the beginning of the call about heavy is the head that wears the crown. Do you feel that it's fair towards your spouse to remove all of that weight of that responsibility from your head, from your shoulders, and to put all that weight of that responsibility and the decision on your wife's head? No, it's, now that you're mentioning, it's not fair. Why isn't it fair, if I may ask? Well, because it's my decision. I have to do this. I have to make a change at the end of the day. And that's how you help them overcome that hesitation, because at the end of the day, it's their decision. And chances are, if a person is on the phone, they spend 1 hour with you, they are the decision maker with both feminine and masculine energy. So it's their decision to make. Our objective through that process is to empower them to make the right decision. Questions, concerns, doubtful points, anything? If not, we can either open it up for any question, any troubleshooting that you'd like to do when it comes to your sales right now. Richard, please, anyone.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to just go over the money, or should we just wait for another weekend?
Yeah, no, I can go through the money. Not a problem.
What's the big one? The money, time, and you said what else was it? There's 3 of them. Money, time.
Money, time. So it's
and fear.
Money, fear / uncertainty, and time / logistics. These go hand in hand.
Okay, good.
So I'm gonna go through money. Let me check some questions because I don't want to keep talking. I don't have the most beautiful voice in the world. Andrew.
My question is different from what we talked about too, so you can go to Richard first.
Go for it. Go for it. I'll
Okay.
say money flow. Yeah, later.
Okay. So I struggle personally with objection handling with people who I am like I know personally more than people who I'm meeting for the first time in the call. And so I'm curious if you have any suggestions for that. Like, for example, I had a friend who referred his wife to me and she wanted to go talk to him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I struggled with how to handle that properly.
Yeah. So a good place in the call to do what I'm about to unpack is before the consequence. Because what's going to drive that decision at the end of the day is the gap that you build and the consequence. Like the gap that's happening right now and the consequence, what are they going to lose in the future? So how you can pre-frame the language you can use is, Sally, we're friends, or I'm friends with Mike, so totally get it. But as you might understand, like if we are going to work together, I want to be able to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Are you cool with me saying that? Yes, I am. Okay. Well, what happens if you don't make a change? You do the consequence. And in the end, you objection handle normally. So, and you use his name. Well, what hesitations do you feel Mike would have when it comes to you losing weight? And be real with me. I mean, we know each other. Like, what hesitations Mike is going to have?
Okay.
If you pre-frame it that you're entering the call as a coach and not a friend or a family friend, that's how you win. And regardless if it's an effortless yes, even for your delivery of your program, they have to see you that way, because they're not going to implement if I'm a friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I have to be an a-hole. Like coaches are a-holes by default. Like I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be your friend, Andrew.
Yeah, right.
Just the way the world works, because you're not going to listen to my advice. Who cares what friends?
Right.
Who cares what friends say?
Yeah.
So you have to enter with that frame, even at the hello. You can use it's just a convenient places to do it before consequence. But
Okay.
you're aware, Emily, I know we've known each other for a couple of years. If this is to work, I'm gonna take off the friend Andrew shirt and I'm gonna put on the trainer set, just like I do with all of my clients, and they're able to get results. I hope you're okay with me saying that.
But that's the truth, right? As soon as you become a friend, family members, they don't want to listen to you.
Yeah, no, it's a fact, exactly. Because
I hit that shit all the time. But as soon as, my patients I'd rather you respect me, but friends and family, they're like, yeah, what the hell are you talking about? It's a pain in the ass. I don't even want to see them.
exactly. It's the familiarity. It's the familiar. You don't, something that's familiar, you don't value by default. That's why the best products, even in the market, even in marketing, it's a mix of, like, if something is too strange, you're not gonna buy it because it's too new. If something is too familiar, you won't respect it because it's just another thing. Like the best products, the best offers, it's something familiar, like has familiar, but it's also something new. That's why the first version of like MySpace, for example, failed and Facebook took off. Because Facebook was like, it's like MySpace, just I'm gonna connect with more people or whatever.
Right, electric cars too. Electric cars, if you're a car salesman, stop.
Yeah. Like if they were trying to sell you a flying electric car, they would fail, let's say, from the get-go, because it's too unfamiliar, it's too strange for the common person. There are gonna be some early adopters, they're gonna come in and they're gonna buy, but the main, I don't know if you've seen the graph, I don't remember, but the small percentage of the population that are early adopters, but they're typically not enough to sustain a big business. So You have to have something familiar and something strange in terms of unknown to do and to create a desirable solution for the market. I'm rambling. Ali,
Hi, Chris.
what's up? It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah, so I have a different question around offers.
Yeah,
So I've been struggling, to find a proper offer. So my last offer wasn't, I did some sales, but they wasn't paying me on time and delaying the commissions and so on. So
Yeah.
so what's your thoughts on finding a proper offer to build on that?
how are you finding your current offers?
Through Facebook, social media.
Are you reaching out to them, or do they have open positions and you apply?
No, I just reaching out to them, reaching out to coaches, consultants.
Yeah, so your best bet there is to go for, like, you're going to do your outreach regardless. Like, you're going to reach, let's say, to 20 people. Like, go for the most ideal people, because if you're doing outreach, you're already selecting the people you're going after. So you set the stage, right? You put the pieces on the table. So put better pieces on that table. Reach out to higher level companies.
Yeah, more established companies, right?
Yeah, like, it's about, if you're already reaching out, it's about client selection. Like, don't, I guess one of my hesitations when I was starting out, probably, I don't know, 6 years ago, is, oh, this guy is too huge. He's gonna have a team already. Well, you don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't care if you're reaching out to Tony Robbins. Like, you don't know what his needs are. Shoot an email. Shoot or shoot, right?
Yeah. So I should go for more established people or companies or
Yeah. Solve
Yeah.
rich people's problems, get paid rich people's money.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I had some, I had some issues with people, not serious enough, and it's take a lot of time. It's I want to build momentum and start selling and start using an NPQ in a proper way. So
Yeah. The set ideal criteria for you, like, put on a piece of paper, say, like, is there another closer on that offer? How many are there selling on a month? If it's 0, like, you're not a miracle worker, no matter what I teach you. Right? So if the offer isn't selling already, if they don't have already a structure for your commissions, if, like, what traffic, if they're only relying on one channel, if they're only using, let's say, Facebook, and he's making 1 sale a week, well, it's probably not going to go that well. It's not like the floodgates will open once you get on board with them, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's good. So just have criteria and then go from there.
Yeah, have criteria, and remember, like, you have a skill, you're the pretty girl at the prom.
Yeah.
You just have to, for lack of a better term, and pardon, I'm not politically correct, you have to raise your skirt a little bit to more people.
Okay.
Like, over time, that's where volume and having multiple conversations will come in, by doing more outreach and having more options.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, a lot, because I'm just reaching out to people and
Yeah,
Uh,
set criteria. It's your own commission. You're not charging retainers, or you're not taking percentage of the business. So be selective when it comes to how many. Before we start working together, like, what channel are you using? Facebook. Okay. Any other? No, it's just Facebook. Red flag. How many are you selling through Facebook? Oh, we've onboarded 2 clients last month. Red flag. Have you hired any other closers before? No. Red flag.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you should shoot down every opportunity, right? But if you see 3 red flags in a row, I don't know, your chances are get much, much lower.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Again, it's not a, it doesn't have to be a deal breaker, but at least you have to see some signs of life. Like I've walked into businesses where they didn't have sales, but like I saw something there. I saw opportunity and I negotiated, let's say, higher percentages, and I was able to help them expand into channels. But again, skill sets, opportunities, and if you see signs of life, if they have an email list and they email once a month and they're booking 5 calls, it's not that they're going to change their business overnight.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Joe.
Hey, Chris. Yeah, I'm having some trouble with people who say they want to get started, but now is not the perfect time, and that they want to wait a couple of weeks until their daughter's done with summer camp or whatever nonsense they come up with. And I've been using some things such as saying, you know, well, having this coaching, having this support during the toughest times might be beneficial. So it can be an easy mode when things are easy. And do you see your life ever slowing down, or do you think things are going to continue to pop up and cause problems? And then I also have the offer of telling them that they can get started, pause the program, and then turn it back on when the time is right. I was just wondering if there's some more insight you could share.
Yeah. Overall, like the timing thing, it's because of a lack of a big gap, like always. Because if we can get them, you know, excited enough up to a point where, you know, they literally cannot wait to get started, a lot of those things go away. But like you want to unpack before you go into offering, you know, extended plans or help them pause or et cetera, you want to do some digging, right? But besides the timing, because of course life isn't going to get any less busy, are you ready to move forward with the program so you can get into the best shape of your life?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Why, etc. Now, you have to check, and a lot of times, like if they stay stuck, you can tap into the fear uncertainty a little bit and do a couple of reframes there. So, okay, that's no problem. We could postpone for 2 weeks, but how long have you been thinking about making a change with your weight or with your life? It's been 5 months now. You go through the fear objection handling flow. A lot of times I've had people overcome their own objection through that, because you can say, you know, timing is like a baby, right? There's never quite right time to have one, but when it comes, you make time for it. And our most successful clients, it's not that, you know, when they find time, is they make the time. And to be real with you, Joe, like you will have to make time if you're going to see results. So, like, how long are you willing to keep postponing? So it's not I'll give you more time and it will help you because I'm selling you. No, I want you to sell me. So how long are you willing to keep postponing your weight loss journey? Like, is it 2 weeks? And why not 2 months? Why not 4 months? And I'm only asking you because I want you to win.
Nice. I like it. Do you have any insight? I have someone a month and a half ago said he needs 2 days to think it over. And then something came up with work. Now's not the right time. And he had very high sales resistance. I mean, I was being super mellow and he was talking about sales all the time. And any advice on reaching out to him to be like, hey, you know, it's been a month and a half.
When was the last touch point? When was the last touch point?
Like 20 days ago.
Okay. So what have you seen the training with the pendulum of human psychology?
Yeah.
Okay,
you
so
talked about.
what do you think you should do?
I mean, I want to reach out, and I just he seems very skittish about pressure.
Oh yeah,
And-
so what do you
yeah.
think you should do?
Okay, I guess test him a little bit. Like, how many more months are we gonna? I guess make him sell himself more somehow.
If this is the 3 o'clock, right, and this is the 9 o'clock, and this is I'm in, this is I'm paying you, and this is I'm out, and you're saying he's about here, right? Like he's on he's itching away, like I'm about to buy, but he's itching
Yeah.
away slowly. What do you think you should do? Hey, are you ready to get started? What is he gonna do? He's gonna go towards the amount. So what do you think you should do at this stage?
I'm not sure.
Well, think about it.
Continue with the side he's on.
Yeah. So what should you say to him?
I don't know. It's never the perfect time.
No,
No.
this keeps him in neutrality. So what I'm gonna say is, hey, we've been talking about a couple of months now for you losing weight. Have you given up
Okay.
on losing weight?
Yeah.
I've reached out. We've discussed a couple of times. Should I go ahead and close your file?
Gotcha.
What do people typically do? They want to try to save the sale, right?
Pushback. Yeah. Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Haven't heard from you in a while. Have you given up on this?
Yeah. Have you given
Should I
up?
close your file?
Have you given up on losing weight? On whatever his objective was, right? Losing 20 pounds. Like, have you given up on losing 20 pounds?
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Keep me posted.
Right on. Thank you, Chris.
Absolutely. So let's do the money flow and let's wrap up. So when it comes to, money logistics, we won't do fear because that's a whole different story. And it's part of the think about it. I have that on YouTube already, but the money flow. So the investment is 5,000. How would you like to proceed? I'm going to talk to my partner, and let's say the money thing pops up inside the conversation. So how you handle it? Okay. So if you did have the funding, would you move forward with the program, with the solution? Yes, I would. Why would you? X and Y and Z. Now, what I want to do is, what I don't want to do is save them. We're not there to save anyone. I would make for a crappy Superman. We want to save the situation themselves. So I'm putting it back on them. Well, how do you think you can resolve that? Where you can come up with the funding to put into the program so you can start losing X and Y and Z. The reason I'm doing that is I have no idea about the financial situation. So offering payments, it actually hurts me and it hurts them because I have no idea of what they have in place. So how do you think you can resolve that and let them come up with options? I can't think of anything. Well, if you thought about it, I can't think of anything. Okay. What a lot of clients do is they have used the credit card and they're able to pay it back over time so they don't have to keep suffering with the pain. Would that help you? So you don't have to keep postponing your treatment. If you cannot, or after that, let's say you have a discussion there, okay, is it more of the full amount of the treatment? Or if we were to break it into something more digestible, would that help you? So you don't have to postpone dealing with that pain. Now they're going to ask, well, how much can you break it into? Again, I don't want to save them. Well, it might be a little bit more helpful if you can let me know what you could do just in case I can help. So how much funding can you set aside so we can start treating you? Or I can set aside 500 and then you work with them to come up with payments if this is something that can help. But the payment structure should come from them, at least initially. And then you help them and negotiate whatever negotiation you can do with them. Does that help, Richard?
Yes, so you say you let them come up with the payments.
Yeah, I don't want to give them payments because, first of all, I may shoot too low,
Yeah,
but I don't want to shoot too high and then converse with them for something that I can do by just asking them, well, how much can you do? So you can, again, I'm always tying it back to the outcome. Like, I'm not going to say, how much can you do? Like, I'm not looking in their wallet. I'm like, how much funding can you set aside to put into the treatment so you don't have to live with pain?
right, right. How
I'm
much
always
can you do?
Yeah, what type of funding can you put into the treatment so we can start alleviating your pain?
I take credit cards, I take care credit. I have
The suggestions you will start making after they cannot come up with any solutions on their own.
I think I was coming up with payment plans too quick.
Yeah, don't save it. They're there, they came to you, they're in pain.
I'm too low. I gotta get it up higher. All right, good.
Because
Thanks.
if they come up with the payments, can they reject the payment that they came up with?
Right. So you did the time and you did the money so far. You did the time with the pregnancy and then you did the money. And then we'll go over to fear the other day, another day.
Yeah, but I already have the fear one in my think about it video. Like I did.
You have to look.
Cool.
But 95% of all objections are those three.
Yep, always.
And then 5% is really talking about the spouse, and you try to bounce that real objection out anyways, and it's usually 95%.
Yep, 100%.
Okay, I got you. Thanks.
Cool. Anything else before we wrap up, gents? Cool. Well, it's been a pleasure as always. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Thanks, Chris. See you next week.